Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the purpose of soul connections. Why do we have people that come in our life? Why do they stay for the amount of time that they stay in our life? Why do they make us feel the things that they do? And most importantly, what is the best way to navigate a connection in a way that serves us and them in the best way possible? This is what we're going to be talking about. And these connections do not have to be romantic. They can be platonic. They can be relationships between, friends, obviously platonic, family, again, platonic. It could be within your work environment, so in your employment. It can be any sort of relationship, connection, anything. But it is a true fact that we do learn the most about ourselves through the romantic interactions that we have, especially if we are of the nature of having more negative core beliefs than positive ones, and having an attachment style that is not secure. Usually the lovers that someone with an insecure attachment style or avoidant attachment style will attract a lover in their adult life that recapitulates the relationship that they had with their primary caregiver, who gifted them in the first place the not secure attachment style, and this is how they learn to even work through that, or the negative core beliefs, or whatever it is. This is Anna Morphides with Minding Hearts Counseling. Thank you for another episode, or you coming and being with me for yet another episode, helping us live our best life. And again, going back to this idea, which is actually not even an idea, it's actually a fact, that our connections, no matter how challenging they feel, they are actually here to help us live our best life, because it's going to help us. The very same challenge is the very same thing that's going to help elevate our soul, learn that lesson, and become the best version of ourselves, which then can be the point of attraction to bring in your best life. So this has been quite prominent with not only my own self. As always, I always say that I've learned, and I keep learning what I need to know about myself through my interactions with, I guess, all the people in my life. Usually for me, it is, I would say, is the people that recapitulate or reinforce what I learned from my mom and dad, which was abandonment, rejection, anxiousness, like all those wonderful things that I have been able to transmute. So because of the fact that I have been able to transmute all these things, because of the fact that I was able to become securely attached, recreate my entire core belief system, and create like a new positive one, because I am a testament that the work does work. And when you do the work, you literally rebuild yourself from the inside out. And because we change our personality, we like literally change our personal reality. So the very same people and challenges that I received in my relationships and connections were the very same source of energy, and if you want to say even a catalyst, that led me to becoming the best version of myself so I can live my best life. So also based on people that I work with this week, relationship challenges have been super prominent. And let's talk about how we can navigate the feelings that come through. Because most people, including myself, I didn't know that the triggers that I have, and by triggers, we're talking about feelings that arise. Those are what are called triggers in the therapeutic world. The triggers that arise from people that we interact with, whether platonically, whether in our romantic relationships, are the very same thing that are going to set us free. So say that you're feeling rejected, or you're feeling that they're abandoning you, you're feeling that they're not prioritizing you. The very same thing that someone might come to me and be like, Anna, like, I can't believe they're not prioritizing me. I cannot believe that they're treating me this way. And I can't believe that they did this and they did that. And then when someone talks to me about things that they did, because it's not about the thing that they did, it's about the way it makes you feel. So tangible example, and thank you to the beautiful soul that is allowing me to share, obviously, their information anonymously today. If someone is doing something that is making you feel that you're not a priority, that could even just be they drop a drop of oil on the floor, and that could trigger the fact that you don't feel like a priority to them. It could be that they slammed the bathroom door really loudly in the morning and then they woke you up. It could be anything. But the overall theme is what you're feeling. It's not the action that they're doing, but it's the feeling that you get from that person. So when I ask the question, what is the feeling behind the action? The feeling no, the thought is they are not prioritizing me, and they are not, was it respecting me? I have it right here, actually. Protect. This person does not feel protected by their romantic partner. So the feeling of not being protected, I would feel that is sad. And then we work with that sadness to transmute it right back into joy. Because remember, the chances that people are going to do and say things that are going to have us land in either fear, disgust, anger, sadness, and or joy, the probability of that is that we're going to land in here, and then we just have to transmute it back into here. So now we do the work. So we have narrowed it down to that this beautiful individual feels like they are not protected. They are not protected by the people that they love. So we work on, first of all, doing that for ourselves. So where is it in our life that we are not protecting our own selves? Is it because we don't have enough boundaries with our lovers, or whoever it is that's making you feel this way, or in any other part of your life? Where are you not protecting yourself? Are you not getting enough sleep? Or maybe you're not receiving the amount of help that would work best for you, or maybe you're still cooking when you want to have somebody else cook for you or go out for dinner, or you're not protecting your inner peace. Maybe you have a negative self-dialogue. Like, where are you not protecting yourself? And then first we gift that to ourselves, and then it's okay to ask our partners in what ways we want to be protected. But a lot of people's narratives are like, oh, they'll never listen to me, or the conversation will never land, or they will never be able to meet me there. But the power of choice that we have as human beings is that we can create our narrative. And this is exactly what narrative therapy is based on. Narrative therapy is knocking down the narrative that is not serving and is bringing out feelings of sadness. Like, I don't feel protected by the people that love me. That's sad. But when you create the new narrative and say, when I choose to protect and love myself, others have no option but to also do the same for me. The more I protect and I love myself, the more others are going to do the same way. I am so grateful that now I know and I can clearly see this is where I need to protect myself. And I know for sure that the other people are going to rise to meet me there. Look already how different that narrative feels. That feels so promising, so hopeful, so good. And this, again, goes hand in hand with that concept of like living in the end. The person who is protected by the ones that love them wouldn't be crying about not being protected. They would walk around planet Earth as if they already have it, so then like reality can come and meet them. And then how do we do that again? By controlling our emotions. How do we control our emotions? By controlling our thoughts. I'm going to link that video below. We control our thoughts. And again, our thoughts, what are our thoughts? It's the narration that plays in and out every day in our head. There's cognitive behavioral therapy, which controls the core beliefs. There's narrative therapy that controls the narrative that comes from the beliefs. And then there's DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, which is all about the emotions, because the thought creates the emotions create our behaviors. So if we are in the belief that like, no, I'm going to fully protect myself, I'm going to find out what my boundaries are, what I want to experience, and whenever I have a negative thought, this cannot happen for me, I'm going to redirect that thought and be in the know that yes, no, this can happen for me. It will happen for me. And then we give gratitude for the people already acting as if we want them to, instead of getting stuck in this narrative. They'll never change. They can never do that. This is a response that I'm going to get. They're going to do this again. When we change who we are, because remember, as it is 11:11, the response that we are fearing that we're going to get, that we were shown in the past, we are now in full control of to change, because if we change our frequency, and how do we change our frequency is by the thoughts that we have that change our emotions, which is the energy in motion, then we become a different point of attraction. And this is like quantum physics. When we shift, everything else has no other choice but to shift. So we can't wait for this to shift in order for us to shift, because if we're all intertwined, if people are shifting, say, in a negative way and they're dragging us along, what are we going to do? We're just going to stay there being dragged along? No, we take control of our hands and we shift, and then they can shift. So in essence, this is how negative emotions are a catalyst to us becoming a different version and shifting the dynamic in the relationship. Because you better believe it, if you feel like you're not protected, or you feel abandoned, or you feel even angry, like if you feel anger towards someone, take that anger and really look at it and point it at self. Like the anger that somebody else is mirroring back to you, where is it stemming from? What are you really angry at? The person is doing an action. So if we're going to be angry at that action, there's something within ourselves that we're angry with ourselves. And again, this is the key to freedom, right? If we want to free ourselves from this anger, then we can backtrack to see where it's coming from. So then not only do we release ourselves, but we also release the attachment to how somebody else's anger is going to be affecting us. Because imagine if we just allowed people's emotions to affect us day in and day out, we would never have an opportunity to be able to have a handle in our own life, because we're always giving our power away and waiting for outside sources to dictate how we're feeling. But now we know that it works the other way around. We focus on how we want to feel, and we take the energy from whatever feeling we have in the moment, and we change its potential to what we want it to be, knowing that nothing is ever planted out of content or out of context. Like, if it wasn't supposed to be there, it wouldn't be there. So even the most challenging of relationships, connections, situations that even arise from something, is to help you step into your power, whether it is changing your core beliefs, aligning with your truth. There is a narrative in there that's not serving you. There's a narrative in there that that serves you best, that could be altered. There's something in there that is a gift for you, but you are the only one that knows this. So when the question is now asked, why is this happening for me and not to me, the rest of the things can unfold, right? So if I ask my person today that I was working with, like, why is this happening for you? then they can clearly sit back and have a bird's eye view and say, well, I am feeling the anger or the sadness when the narrative is that I'm not protected by the people I love. Why is this happening for me? Well, it's because that individual has to shift out of that narrative and create a new narrative and trust that other people can show up for them and learn to say things differently in their life. So for example, instead of saying, and this is true, instead of saying like, I'm so sorry I'm bothering you, thank you so much for allowing me to lean on you. Do you already see how different that is? So when my individual person that I'm working with, they apologize for taking up space, of course, they're going to continue the story that they're not protected by the people that love them because they're not even protecting themselves from loving themselves and allowing them to lean on people. So completely different narrative. Thank you for allowing me to lean on you. That makes you want to smile and like bring so much gratitude versus I'm so sorry that I took up so much of your time. Like that makes you feel sad and like not worthy. No, change that narrative. So then learn to protect yourself even from the words that you use to describe your experiences. No apologizing and just giving gratitude, being so grateful. Thank you for holding space for me. I'm so grateful that I was able to lean on you today. I'm so grateful. But I know it's not easy for us to receive this when it's not what we know, right? But this is the gift in this experience. So now, not only is this person going to create a new narrative for themselves, so then they will always feel protected, not only by themselves, but like by the people that they love because they know that they're in full control. Like, look at this amazing experience that they're getting, but it wouldn't have happened had they not been brave enough to even reach out to call me so we can talk about it. They would have just continued to live life in that same vibrational frequency of I don't feel protected by the people that love me, which is sad. And it feels disheartening and discouraging, which will like this beautiful person says, like it makes them withdraw from situations. And that's not fun because then when we withdraw, we're kind of like isolating ourselves. And then isolation, like we're not meant to be isolated as humans. We are meant to have connection. So why not have different beliefs, and then we can like cultivate this joy. So then which will like the joy we're going to want to share with people, because joy is great and it's contagious just as any other energy, but like also is an energy that one feels like they want to share. And then is received way differently too. I mean, I don't want to share other people's anger, but I do want to share in their joy. Like that feels really good. I hope that I'm explaining this video in a way that makes sense and in a way that like we can harvest all the challenges that come up in our connections in a way that like will lead to a new narrative, to a new core belief, to a new attachment style, to a new something that is serving us. So when we look at everything through this lens, then nothing is ever really happening to us and it's happening for us, and we know it's for our highest good and our growth. So then we don't look at it as a setback, but as a setup for something better. It's not a setback, it is a setup for something better. It is a way to get you to set yourself up internally in a different way, so then your outside reality can match your new inner reality. And there's no one else better than our romantic lovers first, than our platonic partners, family members, situations, the way we relate to the world, the actual narrative of the world itself, to show us what we are in belief about ourselves in the first place. And then we can go to work and change it, because the power is always in our hands. Everything is always happening for us. Everything is happening for our highest good, our growth. This is what it means to be a human person. We learn. God will never give us anything that we cannot handle. And remember, the soil that we grow in, we have the power to cultivate its environment by noticing what's challenging us in our current environment and changing that. We are in control. We're not going to wait for somebody else, but we're going to take that drive of all the challenges that we feel and know that it's there for a reason to help us cultivate the soil of our own garden so we can continue to grow to be the best version of our flower possible. Because when we become a different soil, when we are a rich soil, then guess what? Other rich soil flowers are able to grow in our garden, and then we can blossom with other like-minded energies. And this is how we attract more seeds in like that. And then our next thing we know, we are in this abundant garden of blossom and flowers and honeybees and honeysuckles and just all the beautiful things. And you are enjoying everything because you are the one that has created the soil. So then you just get to celebrate that. I'm going to, yes, now truly stop right here. Thank you so much, as always, for all of your time and effort. Any thumbs up, subscriptions, questions, comments, I'm all for it. Yeah, I'm super duper grateful. Any ideas for future videos, please do feel free to share with me. And with all my love and gratitude, I'll see you next time.